You guys talk to your cats? Just me? Cool. She's beautiful and her name's Frida Klalo. Fuck you all.
Frida Kahlo.
Klalo, yeah, like Kahlo. Yeah, you got it. She clawed me today. Proof. Now I'm talking about cats and I'm supposed to be hosting for a comedy show. What are we doing here? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Thom Gray.
Yeah, clap for me. I deserve it. You guys should have been here for the 8 o'clock show. I told jokes for all of my extended family, basically. When I was writing this set out, I did with Garrett, and I was like, well, I know my family's going to show up, so I'm going to get all the drug jokes just out of the way. And I wrote it out, and that's about 25 minutes of material. So it was a pretty long night. So this is going to go a whole lot better because I'm not blood related to any of you. So we can all fuck if we wanted to. It's totally cool. You know? We don't have to, but we could if we all wanted to. And not just me and one other person, everybody. You know? Anybody else get sweaty? Me too. Yeah. I wore a long sleeve shirt for some reason, probably because I weigh 115 pounds. And I'm shivering right now. But God bless America. I didn't know where to end that joke, but I'll mention God. The other day I was at a bar, standing outside smoking a cigarette. This guy walks up to me, total stranger. I don't know him at all. He just goes up to me and goes, "Tweaking, huh?" And I just had to explain that this is just how I am. Which is a pretty weird conversation to have with an adult man. You know, like sometimes God just makes people different sizes than others. And maybe my mom happened to do drugs while she was pregnant with me. Which isn't true, but it's better than being genetically fucked. Which is the truth. I'm just small. I'm taller than my dad. Yeah. And I'm not tall, so I barely scrape by. I can grow facial hair now. Yeah, thank you very much. When I shave my face, I look like a high schooler. And when I don't shave my face, I look like a high schooler that's seen some shit. You know? Like a high schooler that had it rough. Which I did. I got made fun of a lot in high school. Obviously, you guys are probably all thinking like, this tiny little motherfucker, I'll pick him off in the alleyway. That's cool. I got made fun of a lot. There was this one girl in particular, she was a year older than me. Every day, just relentlessly would make fun of me. A lot of words that I'm a better person, I'm not gonna say. And she graduated. I hadn't heard from her in a long time. Until recently, I heard that she had a baby. The baby's father is a drug dealer, and he was murdered 3 weeks ago. So I think we're even. You know? I'm not gonna hold it against her anymore. We both struggled. She just let me get mine out of the way early, and I'm really thankful for that. I wish I could have done the same for her. Just so you guys know the kind of person I am, the other day I caught a dude breaking into my car, and by the end of our confrontation, I had given him $5. And I don't really know how it happened. He was just like, "Hey, times are rough," and I was like, "Hey, here you go." And he still stole some of my shit. So thank you guys for paying money to be here. I need to recoup my losses. I just need to get a nice room tone for this album. My secret is I'm gonna cut all my vocals. And it's just gonna be like ASMR of people laughing, you know? And I might eat some chips while I'm editing it. Overlay that. Add in some commentary. Like, yeah, that riff felt pretty good. And then a joke doesn't go well, and I'm like, yeah, I should have cut that. I don't know why I left this in the album. That was a mistake. Apparently I have a face that just screams out, "Yes, dude, on the corner, I do want you to offer me acid." But why is it always got to be the dirtiest dude that's offering me acid? Like, if he showered every once in a while, I'd probably buy it. But if you look at his jeans, he hasn't washed those things in 3 months. You could stick a piece of notepad paper in his pants, you put it under your tongue, it'd probably still fuck you up. Just not in a fun way, in a, I think I have a disease kind of way. I need to reevaluate my decisions. I just think drug dealers need to get more creative with what they do. You know, like heroin dealers need to kind of mix it up with how they sell their product. Like, if a heroin dealer came up to me and offered me some Fleetwood smack, I'd be tempted. You know, he's like, hey, this is a heroin that makes you cheat on your wife and write an album called Rumors. I'd be like, sign me up. That sounds awesome. I love Stevie Nicks. Or Nevie Sticks, as I call her. Yeah, my sense of humor is like, what if I switched 2 letters of someone's name? That's hilarious. I'm gonna put that on my album. Maybe come up with another one. But I didn't. Oops. I took a lot of Adderall in high school, if you couldn't tell. I have the eyes of someone that's still on Adderall. I just found out recently that I was taking it wrong, though. Like, you're supposed to take Adderall while you're studying, so you can absorb the information quicker. But I would take it like 30 minutes before my test. So all that would do is just make me really focused on failing my test. Like, each question, I'd be like, yep, definitely don't know that one. On to the next one, not a clue. Turned it in first, that's what matters. Doesn't matter, you still fail. And then I moved on to ecstasy to help me learn. I took the ACT. The first time I took the ACT, I got a 22. Yeah, I know. I didn't want to take it a second time, but I grew up Catholic and my dad signed me up, so I'm going to take it a second time. It's the night before the test. I'm at CC's Pizza doing what 17-year-olds do, you know, just blowing powdered sugar on one another. Those brownies. And my friend leans over the table and he's like, hey, I've got some ecstasy. Do you want to buy some ecstasy? And I was like, yeah, I do. But I have the ACT tomorrow. Can I get it tomorrow? And I'll take it as like a celebration thing, because, you know, high school's really hard. And he was like, no, this is the pill kind. It's going to go way quicker than the powder kind. You got to get it now or else it'll be gone. And I was like, okay, I'll be a responsible 17-year-old. I'll get the ecstasy. I'll put it in my pocket. And I'll save it for after the test as a celebration thing, because, you know, high school's really hard. And my friend jokingly says to me, you should take it right before the ACT. And I want to be liked. So I did. I took it at 7:30 because the test started at 8, and I wanted it to be kicking in as soon as I walked through the doors. It was December, and I was sweating profusely. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't fill in the dots. And then I went and hung out with my dad. Stuff you do on ecstasy. And then I completely forgot about the test results until a few weeks later they come in the mail, and I got a 25 on the ACT. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just proves that the DARE program is a crock of shit. I remember sitting in DARE just thinking like, man, I'm never gonna do drugs. I'm never gonna do those things. And then like fast forward 16 years, I'm listening to The Dark Side of the Moon using 2 bottles of Xanax, has maracas, just playing along. Just playing along, wondering what happened in general in the last 5 minutes. What happened? That's just life though, you know? I had a real tough time with drugs, but weird shit just happens, you know? Life's weird. Life's like a box of chocolates. It'll kill your dog. Why are you leaving chocolates so low? That's irresponsible, right at snout level? That's just begging for a vet visit. I'm mainly here to give you guys tips on like how to take care of your dogs. Rule number 1, don't give them chocolate. Just don't. Rule number 2, you know, just let them do whatever the fuck they want. My neighbors just let their dogs out all night and bark all night. It's awesome for them. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys can't tell by the fucking bags under my eyes. I have insomnia, and I also get to hear the dulcet tones of an out-of-sync dog, which is pretty great. You know, like Frank Sinatra, move over. What about this beagle? Put some bass behind it? Hell yeah. Get some jazz drums. You guys like Coltrane? I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just talking about jazz, you know. I think it's the lighting. It's like mood lighting. Like I said earlier, we can all have sex if we want to. Or we can just listen to jazz and then have sex. Hell yeah. Let's see. Alcoholism's a lot like being a werewolf. Yeah. You're at the bar hanging out with your friends. You check your watch and you're like, if I don't get out of here in 15 minutes, I'm going to ruin everybody's night. And it's going to be hairier than we all expected it to be. I try not to drink too much. I just smoke weed. And this doesn't count. Weed's the best, though. There's nothing better. I like, you know, like drinking a beer, smoking a bowl. Weed's the shit, you know? Take a couple shots, smoke a bowl. Yeah, weed's cool. Yeah. You wake up in the morning, your hands are shaking. So you take a shot and then you smoke a bowl. Yeah, weed's awesome. So good. You're in the hospital because your liver's failing. So your buddy sneaks in an edible and some shooters, so you take them both. Yeah, weed's the best. And then you die. End of that joke. All right. I've been trying to get all my jokes to end with, and then you die. It seems to bring people down. Just a little bit. Search parties aren't as fun as they sound. I show up with a six-pack and I'm the asshole. I'm sorry your daughter went missing, dude. I came here to party and go on a scavenger hunt. Let's do this shit. There were flyers posted all over town. Everyone in the county got the text message. It was Amber Alerts. God. I hate those things. You ever be driving around, you see like a lost dog sign stapled to a pole hastily, and you're just like, man, my heart hurts so bad for that poor creature. It must be so scared to be out in the world alone without its owner. And then that same exact moment, you get an Amber Alert message on your phone, and you're like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to feel bad for a creature with big eyes. I don't need to be reminded about evil. I grew up Catholic. I feel it all the time. Don't feel bad for me because I went to Catholic school my whole life. I never got molested. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. I wish I did, just so I had an excuse for who I am. Nothing bad happened to me, and I'm still just this. I really like serial killers. That's a harsh segue. I get told I look like a serial killer a lot because I smile when I talk, which is off-putting to some people. Like a less handsome Ted Bundy. I was just thinking the other day, like, it must be so hard nowadays to separate yourself as a serial killer, just because, like, everything's been done. You know, like, you could cut somebody in half, and people would be like, whatever. Who cares? You could have sex with one half of that person, and they'd be like, that's hack at this point. So here's how I would do it. I kidnap a guy or a girl. I don't care. I'm not picky. I tie them up. I put them in the trunk of my car. I take them to a parking garage a la It Follows. I don't know if you guys like movies. They're blindfolded. I wheel them up to the top floor. In my hand, I have a picture of a child. I take their blindfold off, show them the picture, and I say, this is the last thing my client wanted you to see before you die. And then I kill them. And the funny part is that they don't know who that child is. So their last thoughts are just, who the fuck is that? I'd be the inside joke killer. It'd be awesome. It'd be so cool. I go home, sit in my lazy boy, turn on the news, be like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then I go and do it again and again. Taunt the police, etc. That's the cutest part of serial killers, by the way, is like cutting up newspapers and gluing them, like arts and crafts. Like, that's just so adorable. They have like their own room off the garage. Their wife comes in, she's like, honey, dinner's ready. And he's like, God damn it, Karen! I said to knock! And she's like, I'm sorry, shuts the door, and he's like, let's put some glitter on there. Send it to the governor. I think anthrax would have gone over a whole lot better if they just put some glitter in there. You know, it's like, I'm dying, but at least it was adorable. It's cute. Guys, I got more death jokes coming up. We gotta lighten up a little bit. I used to play in a lot of music. This is a lighter joke. I used to play in a lot of music when I was younger. One of my earliest bands I named after my baby brother is actually really cute. I named it after my baby brother. We were called Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. It's like early Metallica thrash metal kind of stuff. I told that joke in front of my aunts and uncles earlier tonight, you guys. It felt really good. My preferred way to die, I've got a few ways. One of them's via train. I don't know what it is. That'd be cool. Another one is I just want to get murdered. I just want to get killed. You know, because when you're murdered, you're like a victim no matter what you've done in your life. Like, let's say tonight I'm heading home and I just get stabbed on a street corner. You know, people would be like, oh, poor Tom. He didn't deserve that. Bleeding out alone. Poor little guy. Like, no one would ever remember that time I was jerking off in my car in the parking lot of an NA meeting. Like, that would just be over. What I'm saying is I need a clean slate. I need to move on. One time I was at Incredible Pizza, and they had one of those basketball shooting games, and I was like 12, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to Hakeem Olajuwon the shit out of my friend's shot. And I hit that thing, and it hit an elderly woman in the head. And I don't know what happened after that. And I've lived with that guilt for 11 years. Let's have a moment of silence. No, let's have a moment of silence for that lady. I'm gonna call her Kathy. Kathy Goldberg. She's Jewish. Nothing against her. That's not why I hit her in the head with the basketball. It just happened to work out that way where I did kill an elderly Jewish woman. So how do I segue from murdering an elderly woman into other jokes? Because I don't know. No answers? Okay, that's fine. I was just wondering if anyone had any tips or anything like that. I could use them. It's fine. Anyone got like tax tips? I don't have a savings account. Is that bad? Do you need a savings account? No. Yeah, cool. Thanks for validation on that. Good thing I'm late on my rent. Oh, man. You guys ever hear that phrase, only the good die young? You know that phrase? That phrase alone has made me so nervous to hang out with my parents or my grandparents or anyone older than me. Just like, what the fuck are you still doing here? You know? Makes me want to start doing a bunch of good shit just so I can get out of here early. You know, it's like when you take a half day off of work, except instead of work, it's life. You guys know what I'm talking about? Or you just want to call it good? Crackheads are the only thing in life that are all they're cracked up to be. All right, thank you. Yeah. I'm pretty clever sometimes. Sometimes. Other times, I don't know about that. I do a lot of traveling, doing this shit. Oh, surprising. I do a lot. I like to eat at really good restaurants when I go on the road. Like one of my favorite places is Noodles and Company. You guys know Noodles and Company? I love that place. But I travel alone a lot. And when you get Noodles and Company alone, it's just noodles. You know, it's just sad noodles. There's no friends or company there at all. You just give her your card and then she's like, okay, and you eat alone. Don't feel bad for me, it's okay. I want to be abducted. You know, where like they bring I'm held kidnapped, you know? Like where they bring the whole force out to get me out. I just want to know what it's like to be so cared for. Okay, now you guys could feel bad for me. That one's intentionally laid out there for the alls. Yeah. Aww. That's cute. I wish grave digging was still a viable job. Like, you can do it nowadays, but that's more like putting people in the ground. And I'm not really interested in that so much. Like, and you can take people out, but you gotta work for the cops, and I'm not a fucking sellout. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna dig up some woman just to prove that Michael Peterson is innocent. That's not what I'm gonna do. You guys seen The Staircase? You guys watch that? Yeah, that shit sucked. Yeah, 50-minute episodes, 13 of them. I wanted to throw myself down a set of stairs halfway through that thing. Looking at his baked bean teeth, I was like, ugh, God. So gross. Michael Peterson, that motherfucker. That's the name of this album, by the way. Michael Peterson, comma, that motherfucker. Yeah, I have to do correct grammar in there. Grammar Nazi isn't really thrown around as much these days. You know? Too many real Nazis. Start saying grammar Nazi and it's like, oh, I only like the white letters. Back in my day, we only no. Any motel is a Bates Motel if I'm staying there. Because I'm masturbating. You guys are smart. You know where I'm going. I need to get a good jerking off joke in there. You ever be watching porn? Hell yeah, me too. Porn really gets to like the plot twist so quickly. You know, it's like, oh, it's a pizza guy. Never mind. It's like, oh, there's a leak in your faucet? Nope. All right, I really like it. It's instant gratification, which is what I need. Some of those ads on porn sites are fucking ridiculous, though. I saw one the other day. The text on it was, scientists can't explain this weird sex trick. And then it had a GIF next to it of a dude just fucking a head of lettuce. And I was like, yeah, I can't explain that shit either. And I want to know how they even brought science into it. Like they went to a lab, and there's this dude just sitting on the couch in the waiting room, and the nurse comes in, and she's like, doctor, you got to see this. I don't know what's going on out here, but you got to take a look. And he goes out there, and he just sees this dude fucking a head of lettuce. And he's like, I can't explain that. And they're like, go with it. Run to the presses. Put that on the ad. It makes your dick big. And then I got curious. You know? My girlfriend's asleep. You can just wake up, I happened to get groceries the other day. I just creep into my kitchen, tiptoe in there, get a knife, open up my fridge, grab a head of lettuce, go to town on myself. You know? Fuck a head of lettuce. I only tell that joke to say fuck a head of lettuce 3 times. That's the only time I get to say that phrase. You know those ads on TV of like the really sad poor kids and like they're playing Sarah McLachlan in the background making you feel bad? Those ads really don't work on me too much. Like I just don't feel bad for people, really. Something's wrong with me. The only way those ads could work on me is if one of those kids made direct eye contact with the camera And he was like, it's my money, and I need it now. And I go, yeah, all right, buddy. Here you go. Get you some rice. Fill up. I'm going to tell you guys the first joke I ever wrote because it's fun. Why not? When I was a kid, I was staying over at my friend's house. And that night, it was a crazy night, actually. That night, his friend... Let's start it. I'm going to tell you guys the first joke I ever wrote. I was staying over at my friend's house. It was crazy. I was probably like 8. I was asleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. His mom's up, running around on the phone, like real panicked. I look in their bedroom and I just see his dad's feet sticking up. And apparently his dad died in his sleep while I was over there. Yeah, it was the first literal sleepover I had ever been a part of. All right, guys, that was like 1 month into comedy. Cut me some fucking slack, okay? That's a nostalgia joke. You know, when you like listen to My Chemical Romance and you're like, it's not that great, but I still like it because I was 13. You know, Gerard Way, hell yeah. That's a reference. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, another one. All right, yeah, that's the best My Chemical Romance album, by the way. If you guys wanted to know. The other ones, man, fucking sellouts. Do you guys like art? No, I don't. Fuck art, God. I hate it. It's not for me. Like Jackson Pollock waving his paintbrush around like he's better than me. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I could beat up Jackson Pollock, I think. You want to know how I know that? Because he's a skeleton. That's really easy to beat up a skeleton. You know what the worst would happen? You break your bones on his bones. That's a pretty badass way to break your bones. On another person's bones? Hell yeah. Cool. Oh, someone texted me. I'm liked. The other day, my dad texted me and said he was proud of me, and I just responded, why? I was like, I'm doing this, and you're not even here. Are you really? Are you really, Dad? You guys want to know how I feel about my family? Yeah. No, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I read this story the other day about, it was this guy, he had some kids. That's how I refer to parents. They have some kids. He had his 2 kids, and he shot up heroin and overdosed to teach his kids a lesson about heroin, which just sounds like something you would say if you got caught with heroin. You're like, no, I was doing it to teach my kids a lesson. I'm doing heroin as you're nodding off. No, I was teaching them a lesson. But then I went to St. Louis, and I was doing a show there, and we were hanging out after the show. It was probably like 12:30 at night. We got fucking crazy. We go to a gas station. We park next to the sketchiest looking white people I've ever seen in my life. Like, they were so itchy, it made me itchy. And I was like, yeah, my neck kind of itches too. I go inside, I get my Skittles. I come back out. I see this car parked in the middle of the lot, and it's running, but I don't see anyone in it. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Maybe that's just how they do things here. I walk by, and I kind of take a gander inside, and there's a dude sitting in there. He's in the driver's seat, and he's like slumped over like this, sitting down. And it wasn't like he was sleeping. It looked like he was overdosing on something. So I did what any of you guys would do. I got the fuck out of there. That's not my problem. He was probably teaching his son a lesson. You know, I didn't check the back seat. And then I was in Kansas City. Doing a show there. And we were just hanging out outside of a CVS for some reason. That's where I seem to be a lot. And this guy walks up to us, and he's like, hey, do you guys have any spare change? I just got out of jail for attempted murder. And I was just like, no, I don't give money to quitters. Okay? I was raised to follow through with what I started. You know, if he was like, I just got out of jail for murder, I'd be like, here's a quarter, now please leave me alone. I'm scared of your face tattoos. I like face tattoos, but I'm also like, have fun at that call center, brother. It's gonna be a good time. Take that. People with face tattoos, yeah, coming for you. What if Mr. Clean relapses? Becomes Mr. Dirty? You know, your sponges have syringes in them. You like rub it on the bottom of your spoon and makes it look burnt. I think I have 5 heroin jokes, which is pretty impressive for someone who's only done heroin once. It's true. I got sold it on accident. I was trying to buy ecstasy and they sold me heroin. And I did one line and I was like, this feels so good, it's not ecstasy. And then I was like, well, I already bought it. Might as well just finish it off. You know? And I did, and I haven't done it since. Because it's all a myth. You guys, go home. Just try it. Try it once. You know? If it's not for you, you just stop. If it is for you, you keep doing that shit for a long time. Till you die, basically. Pretty crazy. That's how good it is. Guys, do you guys realize how good heroin is? I'm advocating heroin use, by the way. I went to rehab. When I went there, I was like, I'm going to come out a whole new person with a whole new outlook on life. I was there for 30 days. All that happened is I just got a really good jump shot in basketball, and I'm unemployed. What am I going to use this shit on? I can't dunk. I'm white. I can shoot over somebody. I can obviously block somebody because of that poor old woman. That poor old woman. I still feel bad about that. I mentioned it and I'm like, man. Poor, what's her name? Miss Goldberg. The Jewish lady. Let's bring that up again. Why not? Make it uncomfortable. Who cares? Are you guys having fun? Is this okay? Cool. I'm going to try to keep going. Let's see. Just trying to think. You know. I did mushrooms the other day. It was pretty cool. I haven't taken any psychedelics in a long time. I took some mushrooms. And I wanted like an ego death experience, like to get taken down a level. But instead, like, now just water tastes different. It's not worse. It's not better. It's just different. You know? Especially tap water. Man, that shit is so good. So once again, if you're just catching on this album, shoot up some heroin, and take some mushrooms. And stay hydrated, guys. It's hot out there. Let's just stay hydrated. That's not safe for anybody at all. I'm going to tell a story about my buddy Garrett that was hosting this whole thing. Garrett and I went to Hannibal, Missouri. You guys know that place? It's where Mark Twain is from. We did a comedy show there. Surprising. I didn't even know that shit happened. We went there. We show up a couple hours early because we're early birds. That's what we do. We get there and they're like, hey, we just want to let you guys know, since you're on the show and you guys drove the farthest, we gave you guys a $250 bar tab. And we were like, hell yeah. And we decided to play this really fun game of, let's see how much of that shit we can go through before the show starts. It's about $175 worth of free alcohol. And a lot of it was me. And it was around November. I go on stage. I'm pretty fucking hammered. It was really unprofessional of me to do this. I go on stage. There's a beautiful Christmas tree right next to me, and the juxtaposition of just hammered me, just struggling to get through this shit, and then the innocence of Jesus was beautiful and touching. And then, you know, I did pretty bad, honestly. I got paid $80 though. Take that. Haha. And then we stumble back to our hotel. I'm gonna puke. I know it. I've drank way too much. Garrett's passed out in the bed. I go to the bathroom. I'm a loud puker. I've thrown up a lot in my life. I know this about me. I'm very self-aware. So I do what a good friend does, and I turn the motherfucking faucet on before I puke. If you're not doing that, you're a fucking asshole. Okay? No one needs to hear yourself regurgitating your lunch. That's not cool. And then Garrett and I drove home hungover for 4 hours. It was a great time. And that's the only reason you should go to Hannibal, Missouri, is to just get plastered. And that's the only time I've ever said plastered in my entire life. Like I'm a frat dude in 2004. Yo, bro, let's get fucking plastered and go see American Pie. Yo, dude, I'd fuck a pie. Oh yeah, if it was hot. And I'm not talking about temperature. I'm talking about if it's a sexy ass pie. I'd fuck that pie. Okay. I was doing a show at the Outland here in town. Yeah, that's a great place. I shouldn't have said the name on the album, but whatever. I was doing a show there. I was there alone. It's a Wednesday night. I was just doing what I do, just drinking. I'm hanging out there. These two ladies walk in. They're holding pamphlets in their hands, and they single me out because I'm alone and it's easy. So they single me out, and they're like, hey, do you want to donate money to starving children in our area? And I just had this moment of visceral honesty where I was like, fucking no. I don't. I was like, I'm at the Outland on a Wednesday night drinking canned PBR. That's $1.50 a can. I would take money from children right now. That's just where I'm at. You know the Make-A-Wish Foundation? I would start the Take-A-Wish Foundation. Be like, all this shit's mine now, motherfucker. Go to some sick kid's hospital bed dressed up as Spider-Man, fucking web slinger that Disney World ticket out of his hand. I want to go. I've never been. Rock and roller coaster, that sounds cool as fuck. If you guys don't know what the rock and roller coaster is, it's a roller coaster that's pitch black and plays Aerosmith. Yeah, fuck yeah. You know, probably Dream On. I was gonna name another Aerosmith song, and I was like, I don't know anymore. That's it. I went when I was a baby, but I was like, that's really rude of my parents. I was like 9 months old. And they're like, let's take him now so we can say we took him. But he doesn't remember shit. Can't ride anything. They probably just drove by it, and now they're like, yeah, we went to Disney World that one day. Remember that? You sat in a car, and then we went home. Yeah, that was a great day. I'm going to tell one more thing and then get the fuck out of here. Have you guys had a good time? Yeah? Cool. I appreciate everyone for being here. I was doing a show at a bar here. I don't want to name the name because I kind of talk shit on it. But it's named after an insect, which is just what you want to hear whenever you want to go drink liquids. I was doing a show there, and it's a lot like this place, except there's no stage and no one gives a shit. And I was doing a lot of this. It was going pretty well, except there was a girl in the very front row, kind of like right here where no one's sitting. And she had her back turned towards me the whole time I was doing my set, which just rubbed me the wrong way. So I started fucking with her, like you do. I made fun of what she was wearing. She had this green jacket on. I was like, that's a hideous shade. Why would you ever wear that? That matches nothing else you're wearing. She was wearing a carabiner. I was like, you afraid you're going to lose your keys in this bar? You're going to go rock climbing? Carabiner sounds like a slur. Let's just not wear those anymore. And I was like, why would you go to a comedy show if you're not going to pay attention and listen to what the comedians are saying? And then, you know, I get off stage. I killed it. And right as I get off stage, my friend walks up to me, and he's like, hey, just so you know, that girl you were making fun of, she is deaf. Yeah. The question still applies, though. Why would you go to a comedy show if you're not going to listen to what the comedians are saying? All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Mr. Thom Gray, everybody!